My exhaust manifold actually came in the mail. I didn't want to do a review video or whatever unboxing because it's actually the same exhaust manifold that I have in my car already. So this is it. Has a 44mm wastegate. You know, it's nothing too special. What I want to do is actually go over these welds that it came with. So I'm gonna go over these and re-tack them. Just add a stronger bead because on the other exhaust manifold, this is where it actually broke. Alright, so the plan for the new exhaust was to go over the welds, but my boss told me that that was a bad idea because of the gauge of the metal. Cut the flange right where the joints are, just for the heat, so that the heat won't actually crack the current welds like it did on the old exhaust. So I'm gonna hop into a time lapse and cut these up and throw a little down here just so I can scribe the lines just to make sure I get a clean cut. Here's the finished product. It's clean. Hit that with some air. So I just cut the flange just to open it up, get some stress off of the runners. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is actually cut off this wastegate flange. The reason I'm doing that is because what is sitting in the engine weight is now looking down. This actually hits with the wastegate. You know, the external wastegate is probably about this tall. What ends up happening is it actually ends up rubbing on the intercooler. It's a small amount, but it's enough to where it will create a boost leak. So what I'm trying to do is avoid that by clocking the wastegate, the exhaust flange. So I'm trying to clock the wastegate flange on almost a complete 90 degree. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut that off. And I'm gonna grind it down to get it onto that 40 onto that 90 degree angle. So usually sitting like this, I want it to end up sitting about that. So see how square it will be to the flange. Get this side grounded down, probably a little bit more of an angle, so this can tuck in like so. To be honest, it's really just a small amount that I need to turn in. Like I said, there's not really that much material here on the flange itself, so I can't really cut off too much. So it's not exactly where I wanted it to be, but just due to how much material was needed to be taken off just to get it to this point, I'm gonna leave it right where it is. It's definitely gonna be off of the wastegate. I mean, it's definitely gonna be off of the intercooler, and as you can see just by the way it's sitting right now, the clamp that holds it won't be in the way of anything, so it won't hit any of these parts on the exhaust. So I'm gonna leave it right here for now. There is a slight gap, but that's nothing that can't be welded out. So it's been about a week since World Cup finals. What I got going on today is I actually welded up my exhaust, and I also got a new turbo for it because, yeah, I'm like, this is the wastegate flange, which should be on the exhaust, which it isn't at the moment. This should be here. This usually sits, I guess, as like that. It's flat. You see the difference on the angle. Obviously, this is the wastegate. So it sits on here like this, and before it was like aimed a little bit more out. So it was actually rubbing on the intercooler. I believe one or two of my mounts were bad. So that's what had happened, and as you can see, the damage that's there. So, you know, got it welded up. Hit it with a high temp coat, black paint, nothing too special. It's not really pretty, but had to do that. Also, this is a new turbo. Same size, same everything as the one that's on my car right now. Hit this with some black paint also. So as you can see, same one that's on the car right now. So what I'm gonna do now is actually head to my friend's shop. I actually have to do the rack. I'm gonna throw the exhaust on, throw the new turbo on, and hopefully everything will go good. I'm at work now. I'm gonna jump over to my friend's shop, right? So, made it to the shop. Doing the rack right now, getting it pulled off. I should be helping instead of recording, but they want to argue about if the rack is right or not, but we'll see. We're gonna pull it off anyway. So I got Damien over here in my car with some what's that stuff called, Damien? Undercoat. He said I got cancer in my car or whatever. That's Miglo. What the hell was that? Yo, did you just spray me? No, I just water. All right, so it's about a day later since I was at my friend's shop and put the manual rack in. I'm gonna do an overview of what's been done to the car recently. Everything I've done was kind of like at the moment, kind of needed to be done type of situation. So let's have the newer turbo with the new exhaust manifold. So no more boost leaks, no more exhaust leaks. Basically, I have the boost solenoid there. It's a Grimspeed, off the shelf, I guess, kind of item. I actually picked it up off of somebody off of Facebook for a pretty cheap price. It was actually really good. I do have a 4-port that I'm gonna add later on, but that's actually when I build the other motor. Also, so let's go with internals because you can't see them. So internally there are LS rods with, so it's LS rods with GSR pistons between 10 and 11 to 1 on the compression. What else is the dual valve springs and retainers. So I have dual valve springs and retainers on the intake and exhaust. They are both GSR dual valve springs and retainers, so I actually can take this up to about 8,500 RPMs, give or take. Alright, so that's for everything internal. Let's start with the external, what we can see. So this is obviously it's a turbo. It's a new turbo with a new exhaust manifold. As you can see, I welded it there. It's only been literally about 2 days. All of this was painted. It is high temp paint, but for some reason the stainless isn't really holding it too well. So, you know, it all came off already. As you can see up here is, you know, everything was painted, but it's all off now, so nothing I can really do about that. See, the turbo is brand new. Again, you know, literally 2 days. So down here is it's holding it pretty nicely. But as you can see there, so yeah, turbo is a GT3582. So you see it in here. I know I do need a filter for it. I do need a full filter. It's just that there's really no room here. I'll have to find a short one and route the wires someplace else, and lines probably a little lower just to get the clearance for the filter. Radiator is something off of eBay or Amazon, don't remember. It's new though, and nothing special. I do have the 3-core to put in with when I build the other motor. That's the intercooler. Again, nothing special. I think I picked it up from a friend off of, no, I think he gave it to me. I don't think this was anything off of Facebook. I do have the blow-off valve down there, as you can see. It is actually a better place to have it than up on closer to the intake. You want to have it closer to the intercooler as possible. I finally changed this bracket because the one I had was fully cracked. It was aftermarket. I forgot which company. that they, you know, make brackets, but it wasn't holding up. It cracked, so I had to put in the stock one. Nothing wrong with it. It's actually way better. Engine vibration has gone up, but can't complain about that. Here I have the 750 South Bay Injectors. As you can see, South Bay, yes, back here's a little oily. It is what it is. South Bay Injectors. I don't know who makes this thing, but that's the name, Genesis. Fuel pressure regulator. The South Bay Injectors are the 750s. I'm gonna decap them and push them up to 1,000 cc's, and then after that, when I get the other motor done, I will be jumping up to 2200s. Stock transmission, no slips, no grinds, no pops. You know, does what it's supposed to do. Did get the smoked out headlights just recently, so you can see. So this is probably about a month or two since I've had these. So as far as suspension goes, I am on Type 1s. I'm gonna upgrade to some Type 2s later because I actually do really like them. The only other thing I can say is probably the fuel pump. The fuel pump is an AEM 320 or 340. I want to say it's a 320. I haven't seen it in a while, so kind of forgot. But fuel lines, I'm gonna run a dash 10, AN-10, all the way up to the, obviously all the way up to the injectors. I'm probably gonna use 2 inline fuel filters, just to, you know, keep any sediments out of the fuel. Also, I did upgrade to the AEM wideband. I forgot which one it's called. It's not the Yugo, so I am running that as opposed to another brand that I was using that wasn't reliable. And obviously, as you see in the other video, I put in the traction bar system. So I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really used it. I haven't been doing any burnouts or testing it. I've just been keeping it low key. It's winter time. The roads out here aren't really too great. And that's what's going on with the car. I do, as I've said, I do have future plans for the Civic. Motors coming. So I have the B18, to LS B18 B1. I'm gonna get sleeves. I'm gonna jump up to 2.0, and the sleeves, which is 84 millimeter, and then I'm getting the head ported. So there'll be maximum airflow, which is the P8R head that I explained about in my previous videos. So you can go check those out. But that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.